It was a history-making weekend for golf in Augusta, Georgia that recaptured the television spotlight. 21-year-old Jordan Spieth became the second youngest golfer to win the Masters, only a few months older than Tiger Woods was when he picked up his first green jacket back in 1997. Jeffrey Brown has a look at Spieth's accomplishment.
Some perspective now from John Feinstein, a columnist for the Washington Post and the author of several books about golf, including A Good Walk Spoiled. He was in Augusta this weekend. John, what was the most interesting aspect to this? Is it his age or the manner of his victory? What was it?
I think it was the manner of his victory. To sleep on the lead, as they say in golf, for 3 straight nights.
Sleep on the lead?
Sleep on the lead. You lead Thursday, you lead Friday, you lead Saturday. You got to sleep on the lead every night. That's why guys don't go wire to wire. He's only the 5th player in Masters history to do it. And to win and look so calm. Other than that hairline he referenced, he doesn't show any stress on the golf course. He was being chased by Justin Rose, who's a major champion, Phil Mickelson, who's a 3-time Masters champion, Rory McIlroy, who's the #1 player in the world, and he never blinked. There were several blink moments, Jeff, where he might have lost control of the tournament, and he never did.
Which certainly has happened in other years in the Masters. Now, the wider world, we're learning about this guy. You've followed him for a long time. On the course and off the course, we're learning about his personality, his family life, all kinds of interesting things.
He first came to the attention of we golf geeks when he was 16. He was a junior in high school and actually made the cut and finished 16th as an amateur in a PGA Tour event near his hometown in Dallas. His whole school was closed on Friday, so everybody could go out and watch him play. And he's the oldest of 3 kids. His youngest sister, Ellie, who's 14, is autistic. And Jordan has not only spent, obviously, a lot of time with her as a big brother, but has volunteered at her school, which is for kids who have learning disabilities. And I think because of that, he has a kind of understanding of real life that most superstar young athletes don't. I mean, they're anointed, they're spoiled, they're treated as gods. He doesn't look at life quite that way, and I think a lot of that is Ellie.
You know, we've talked about a lot of sports over the years here. Athletes in different sports mature or become great at different ages, right? What about in golf? I mean, Tiger Woods was a one of the phenoms, right? Now we're looking at another young man. What's the norm in golf? What is it that it takes to kind of mature into greatness? You
know, it's interesting because golf has the biggest gap in terms of stardom. Ben Hogan didn't win a major till he was 34. Phil Mickelson was almost 33. But then you had Gene Sarazen, who was 20, Walter Hagen, 21, Tiger Woods, 21, Jack Nicklaus, 22. Jordan Spieth fits in that category. Now, listen to the names I mentioned who won at 20, 21, and 22. They're all in the Hall of Fame. They're all iconic figures. Whether Jordan Spieth will live up to that, time will tell. But certainly the past would indicate that he is on a path to true greatness. And I think to being the next great rival for Rory McIlroy, who has certainly emerged as a star and won his first major at 21.
Well, let's pick up on that because, I mean, for many years, let's face it, golf has really revolved around Tiger Woods.
Absolutely.
Much of the focus. And he's still very much there. And over the past few days, a lot of focus on whether he's, coming back at this point. But there's a new young crop of really great players.
Yeah, there are a lot of very good young players. But these two, McIlroy and Spieth, McIlroy's 25, has won 4 majors already. Spieth, of course, won the Masters yesterday, have emerged. And you know what? Tiger Woods, Jeff, was a dynasty. The way the Yankees were a dynasty or the Packers were a dynasty because he dominated the game. We haven't had a great rivalry in golf really since Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson. I think McIlroy and Spieth have the potential to be a great rivalry. U.S. Ryder Cup player, European Ryder Cup player, both young, both already champions, and both very comfortable in the spotlight, both on and off the golf course. They never seem to really lose their cool, even when they fail. Rory McIlroy led the Masters by 4 shots, just like Jordan Spieth at the age of 21, and shot 80 the last day. Stood behind the green, I'll never forget it, answered every question, never snapped at anybody, and said, if this is the worst thing that ever happens in my life, I'll have a pretty good life.
That's one of those, when you were talking about sleeping on the lead, that's an example. He slept on it and then he failed.
And woke up to a nightmare.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
But when you talk about them being good in the spotlight, and the spotlight was back on yesterday, right? I mean, the ratings were up.
Yes.
Do you think that has that chance to, the rivalry, I mean, has a chance to kind of evolve into something bigger for the sport?
I do. And people have said, what happens when Tiger Woods is no longer playing or is no longer a star? I think the answer is baseball went on without Babe Ruth. Basketball went on without Michael Jordan. These two, I believe, can be the next thing. And if they are, That's great for the game. I'm one of those. Some people love dynasties. I love rivalries, especially in individual sports. McEnroe and Connors, Everett and Navratilova. These two guys, again, an American and a European, so they could be competing against one another for the Ryder Cup someday soon. I think that makes for true greatness in
and
sport.
And just briefly in our 30 seconds here, Tiger Woods, where again, focus on him, and he was there for a bit.
Played well, considering that he was terrible the first two tournaments this year. I think for him it was a very encouraging weekend. I think he needs to play more golf than he's playing. He says he's not going to play for a while. He needs to get out and play.
Just to play and get back
to get back, not to where he was, because he won't.
He won't.
But to get back, to get back to where he could contend for a major title.
All right, John Feinstein, thanks as always.
Thanks, Jeff.